Hello, everybody. GM, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Happy to kick things off today. We'll be talking about leveraging the Ethena network.
Let's kick off. So yeah, hi, my name is Philo. I'm the head of DeFi here at Athena, essentially working on all things blockchain related. I have around 10 years of engineering experience, and I was brought in to help build this Athena network that we're going to be talking about today. Kept the agenda quite short, although we will go into quite a lot of depth into each of these. So I guess we'll kick off with what is actually the Athena network, and we'll figure out if there is a chain involved or not. And then one of the burning questions for the hackers this week was, what should I build? So hopefully by the end of this presentation, you should have a pretty good idea of kind of the tools and things that we've made available, and some ideas on what you can build on top of this for this hackathon. Jumping straight in, the Athena network is a collection of things. It's everything that Athena has done so far, and we're looking to expand this. So the Athena protocol itself, a bunch of tokens involved, USDE, SUSDE, ENA, SENA, and from now on I'll refer to them as the tokens to save my sanity. Presentation about this was done a couple of days ago by my colleagues Eric and Kayin, so I highly recommend that you go and check that one out. They go through in-depth detail exactly how these tokens work and interact with each other. It will give you a better understanding of exactly what they are and what they do. But one kind of interesting feature that's in there is that it's cross-chain out of the box. So the Athena network is chain agnostic kind of idea. USDE and the other tokens have been deployed on 20 plus chains, including non-EVM chains such as Solana. We're working on expanding that kind of on a monthly basis there. We have a battle-tested price value stability mechanism, which my colleagues went through in great detail on the previous workshop there. There are a number of innovations on money primitives around this concept. But the Athena network is more than just the Athena protocol. It includes the whole ecosystem around Athena. So we have already existing integrations with protocols such as Aave, Morpho, Pendle, and a bunch of other ones. There's also a project called Ethereal, which is building a perpetual DEX. We have some institutional products such as USTB, and hopefully in the future, your DApp will be part of the Athena network in this ecosystem. There are also a number of other tools in there, which we'll get straight into by answering the most important question, is there a chain? And the short answer is yes, there is a chain. There is a longer answer there, we'll get to. The chain itself, the idea there is for it to be the hub of the ecosystem. So like the home of Athena, this is where all the tokens can go to and have utility and be useful, essentially. One of the key features of this chain is to be able to pay for transactions in USDE. As far as I'm aware, this is probably one of the only chains where kind of a stable coin is used to pay for transactions natively, which is pretty cool. And we'll go into some of that detail a bit later on in the presentation. One of the key focuses for this chain is speed and data availability. Obviously, we don't want the chain going down, and we want the chain processing transactions reliably. As I mentioned in the previous slide, a big focus is interoperability. Because the Athena network is chain agnostic, we have a huge focus here to be able to connect and move our tokens to other chains, essentially. We'll go through some of the mechanisms that we have built to basically make that happen. Another key pillar for this chain is around security and finality. Obviously, Athena is a pretty big protocol. We have around 3 billion in TVL, a lot of dollars there. We don't want any of those lost. So security is kind of a big central piece there that we're focusing on. And the other one is the developer experience. So we want to grow the Ethena network, and we see that the key way to do that is to provide a smooth and amazing developer experience to attract developers to come and build on this network and basically provide value to the whole ecosystem there. Concrete implementation of this chain that we've been working on, codename Ble Testnet, for the past month, which we managed to launch for this hackathon, is basically the first kind of manifestation of this chain idea that we'd like to add to the Ethena network. So this chain is secured by layer 1. So it's based off of Ethereum Sepolia testnet at the minute. There's full EVM equivalence, meaning that all of your Solidity contracts will work the same way that they would work on like Ethereum mainnet. They would also work on the Ble testnet. We have all the basic tooling from like node RPCs, explorers, bridges, and faucets already set up in preparation for this hackathon. Naturally, we've deployed USDE as one of the key components there for allowing you to pay for your transactions in not the native token, which is ETH. There's a battle tested configuration for this testnet, as I mentioned before. Security is one of our key pillars here at Athena. And yeah, we're not really in the business of building some crazy non-tested ideas, especially when there's like large amounts of money involved. So you'll find a kind of familiar configuration there with ETH as the native token, 2-second block time. It's built on the OP stack for now. So that's kind of like a brief introduction to what the Ethena testnet, the Ble testnet, sorry, is. Today, the Ble testnet already has a bunch of tools baked into it. So I'll go through some of those. There's account abstraction provided by ZeroDev. We have obviously the Block Explorer. We're using Block Scout for that. The ability to bridge USDE and ETH from testnet, from the Ethereum Sepolia testnet using Superbridge. All the cross-chain related activities powered by layer 0. A couple of different implementations there for data indexes. So Gold Sky is providing some subgraph infrastructure and a really cool kind of SQL-like API from Index Supply. We have some dev tools integrated. Obviously, OpenZeppelin have an amazing Solidity library that you can use to build your applications in a secure way using kind of industry standards, which is pretty important. And we have Tenderly integration, so you can go and debug those failed transactions while you are building your dApps to better understand what the issue is and hopefully squash them. The bugs, I mean. Yeah. We have a faucet also. That one's hosted by us. We forked a project from Flashbots for this. It's kind of used Again, battle tested across the industry on multiple faucet implementations. And this is the one on the Ble Testnet as well. Node RPCs provided by Conduit, they are powering the Ble Testnet. So, make sure to check them out. If you need RPC connections to a chain and you haven't decided where to deploy your dApp yet, we do have some various options for oracles depending on your use case. Real-time live price feeds from Pyth and verifiable random function oracle hosted by Conduit as well, which they also had a workshop on. Highly recommend that you then check that out if you need randomness in your dApp on chain. I think this is a great place to stop super briefly in case there are any questions around what the Ethena network is, what it includes. In case there is anything there, I'll give you guys like 30 seconds to jot something down. If not, we can proceed.
Yeah, no questions so far.
No questions, all good. So everybody understands what Ethena Network is. We'll have an exam at the end and figure it out. That's all right. So I'll just kick off and just demonstrate to you guys all the different integrations that we've got so far. As I mentioned, account abstraction by ZeroDev. So when you jump into ZeroDev and sign up there, when you create your new project, one of the networks on there, the Ble Testnet, you can set that up and run your own paymaster. ZeroDev did a workshop as well. So I think that was yesterday. Definitely something to go and check out to understand exactly how this works. They went through a demonstration live in the workshop as well to demonstrate how basically to set up and send transactions by paying with USDE, which is pretty cool. Highly recommended you go and check out the workshop there from yesterday. It should be either in the Discord or on YouTube. You can find the links by Encode there. The next one, the Block Explorer. So this is Block Scout. On here, you can go and see all the blocks in real time coming in. The chain is ticking along, all the transactions that are coming in. And we can see on the left-hand side there, you have like general blockchain related things. So that's the blocks and transactions. You can go and check out what tokens have been deployed on there and verified. You can go and check out charts and stats to figure out like how many transactions are going in, how many blocks are being produced, etc. And there are various APIs for Block Scout that you can utilize in your dApps to do various cool things. A lot of data hosted on there. Another cool feature on here is that a bunch of the contracts can be verified. So you can actually upload the source code and Block Scout will go and double check that what you've deployed on chain matches with the source code that you're uploading, so that you can basically make your code public. So one interesting thing we can see in the daily transactions chart there, that we've had a bit of an uptick in our transactions over the past few days, which is expected. So some of you apparently are using this testnet already, which is pretty cool to see. The network faucet, this is hosted on the Athena Fi domain. It drips 0.1 ETH and 100 USDE on the Ble testnet directly. You can sign in with Twitter or GitHub. We want to make sure that obviously you can't drain this faucet. So you need to somehow prove that you're not a bot. And yeah, this is one of the industry standards there to basically give you a social sign-in option. And once you sign in, you'll be presented with a page like this. You just drop your address in there, click the claim button, and yeah, the funds will be transferred to your address. You'll get 2 transactions, one which will send you a little bit of ETH and one which will send you 100 USDE. This is directly on the Ble Testnet, so you don't have to worry about bridging or anything. The next step there would just be figuring out an RPC node, and then you can start hacking, deploying, sending transactions, doing what you like. Cool stuff there. And then another key piece here is the bridge. So we have a bridge set up between Ethereum Sepolia testnet and the Ble testnet. You jump in there, you can find this widget powered by Superbridge. So you can bridge your Sepolia ETH that you can go and fetch off any other faucet on the interwebs. Pop it in your wallet, come on this page, and you can bridge that across to the Ble testnet. I appreciate here that it does say Ethena testnet. It seems we've had some miscommunication with our internal Web2 devs there. But yeah, it's the Ble testnet. Yeah, this is just a demonstration that you can also bridge USDE. I think one thing I didn't point out, ETH gets bridged from the testnet to from Sepolia to our testnet via the Optimism native bridge, while USDE gets bridged from the Sepolia testnet to our testnet via layer 0. So kudos to layer 0 for setting up their infrastructure as well on the Ble testnet. And kudos to Superbridge for providing us with a very sweet unified interface where we can kind of support both cross-chain messaging standards into one to provide a better user experience there. Yeah, a little bit about layer 0. They did also have a workshop. It's been a busy week this week. Set up integration there with the Ble testnet. Highly recommend to go and check out their workshop to have a kind of better understanding of how all these addresses and numbers on this screen can be used to build really cool kind of cross-chain, even omni-chain applications, and do things like trigger calls on other chains, etc. So not just limited to kind of the token standards, but you can build whole applications that are cross-chain native applications, which is super awesome. Yeah, highly recommend to go and check out their workshop there. Yep. Next one is GoldSky, providing subgraphs to our testnet. This is a simple subgraph that I spun up just before jumping on this call, essentially indexing all the blocks on the testnet. So obviously it's still indexing. I only managed to go through 0.28% of the blocks before this presentation started, but yeah, hopefully over time that will catch up to the head, and then you'll be able to use a GraphQL querying language to essentially fetch any type of data that's available in this subgraph. You also have the option to index any contract on the chain that's been deployed on the Ble testnet. So if you hop over to GoldSky, sign up, create an account, and when you create a new project, you can select our chain and enter the address of your desired contract, and that will index all of the events that contract emits. And then, yeah, you have the power to use GraphQL querying language to essentially query data off the chain in a very kind of developer-friendly, experienced way, which is pretty cool. The next integration is index supply, SQL-like API for querying blockchain data. And this is a cool query that I came up with this morning, just checking real quick all the transfers in and out of a specific address and giving you the final balance. One really cool feature here is this live query checkbox. This essentially publishes new information every block based on your query, which allows you to write responsive Web2 UIs without having to like go and figure out any Web3 related things, because you're simply communicating with index supply, and they essentially will handle the on-chain querying part for you. And they give you this nice little SQL type language where you can select and write different conditions to select different type of data from the network, from the chain itself. Another big one, Tenderly. Super awesome. From Block Scout, you go and find your failed transaction. You copy the transaction hash, head over to Tenderly, paste it in there, and support for Ble Testnet is ready out of the gate, which is super awesome. This will let you go and essentially debug your transaction. The transaction I picked here, fortunately, it succeeded. So I didn't have really anything to debug, but for those cases where you're unsure why your transaction failed on chain, yeah, you hop over in here and it gives you a pretty detailed breakdown, all the operations that occurred low level inside the EVM, and definitely help you figure out why your transactions failed. Definitely improves the developer experience there. Next one is the RPC providers. Super important if you want to connect directly to the Ble Testnet. You would head over to Conduit and you can create an account for free. And you can create a node for free for yourself. And once you do create that, you'll get a page similar to what you're seeing in this screenshot. And you can see that all of the available chains that Conduit supports are all automatically active. From my view specifically, because I deployed the Ble Testnet, Ble Testnet is right at the top, but for you, you'll see it in that list below under the verified rollups, which is super awesome, working outside of the box. And yeah, I believe that they do have quite a generous kind of free tier there. So it should be more than enough credits for you to hack around for the whole month on the Ble Testnet if you wish to do so. Yeah, only thing I'll say is, yeah, just don't go too crazy, because you will end up using up all your credits and you'll have to move to a paid plan. But yeah. In terms of oracles, we have Pyth that I mentioned earlier. They provide real-time live feeds for ETH, BTC, and the Ethena Network tokens. So all four of those as well. You can jump into the Pyth docs there, and you can find the information to connect to the real-time price feeds on the Ble Testnet directly. Yep. I think I did miss one slide. I'm going to mention them. Big shout out again to Conduit for deploying the VRF verifiable random function Oracle on our testnet. So this allows you to put randomness directly on chain from an off-chain source, and allows you to build some cool applications, which we'll kind of go into in a little bit. The future of Ble Testnet. So yeah, this is basically everything that we've done so far. This work's been going on for around 6 weeks. So it's been a very hectic few 6 weeks to prepare for this hackathon and get this testnet out with all these features, which is pretty cool. But there are still some things that we're working on in the background to continue improving user and developer experience. So one of the main things we're looking to do is improve our USDE onboarding flow. Yeah, this will basically make it much easier to utilize some of these unique features that will be available on the testnet moving forward, such as paying for your transactions in USDE, constantly looking to improve that experience over time. Another thing we're kind of looking into and researching is sub-second block times. This will be most likely utilizing the roll-up boost product from Flashbots. Another thing we're looking to build out some mechanisms for economic security through staking. Kind of high-level idea there is user comes along, stakes some tokens, and then based on the number of tokens they have staked, they have some kind of voting power on whether the chain that we're running is running as expected or not. And basically over time, if somebody is trying to act maliciously, these kind of validators or attestators, if you want to call them, they can essentially help secure the network, make it more secure by voting whether some block is valid or not, essentially, and to kind of disincentivize these validators to act maliciously themselves. There would be a slashing mechanism. So to become a validator, you would stake something, and then you would participate in this validation process. But if you're malicious, some of your staked assets would get slashed, essentially. Yeah, in terms of the last one there, instant finality with ZK proofs is something also that we're looking into. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware exactly about the OP stack. I didn't go into too much detail there, but there's essentially a 7-day kind of finality window there where fraud proofs can be submitted to the system, and essentially detecting if there's been something fishy going on. This is kind of the base layer there, and we're doing some research around zero knowledge proofs to see if we can improve that experience much more. And yeah, actually the last point, much more. There's much more also going on in the background. We're doing research across multiple fields and constantly looking to improve on our technology stack there, and make sure that we have the best experience across the board for all our users, for all our developers, and for the whole ecosystem. Yeah. Now the next burning question: what should I build on this network? So we went through the Athena network. We described what it is. Mentioned there of a chain. We described what that has and what that can do, and that's all great. But if you don't know what to build, then yeah, this whole presentation has been kind of pointless. It's nice to know that this thing is there, but how do I utilize it? And this is what this slide is hopefully aiming to answer. There's quite a few different options there. one obvious one, perpetual exchange. We already have one partner doing a perpetual exchange called Ethereal, and that one is in the works at the minute, but it's still quite a big kind of idea there. One person might build a perpetual exchange for some tokens. Another person might build perpetual exchange for example, for NFTs. That might be interesting. And in general, perpetual exchanges provide kind of increased usage of capital. So it's used much more efficiently in these type of exchanges. So this is one type of product that would be like pretty useful to explore and develop. The next type, kind of related, is perpetual products. This is more kind of thinking around, given a perpetual exchange, what kind of like add-ons can we put on there? Some kind of ideas off the top of my head around that. Something like some copy trading type of product where you can select some feature that allows you to copy the trades of some other user that you see is potentially performing very well, and you'd like to copy their strategy. Or potentially some kind of like insurance vault where users can go and stake some asset in there, which would be used in kind of like black swan event type things, which might cause the perpetual exchange to take on some bad debt. Some kind of mechanism essentially building on top of a perpetual exchange. That's kind of what these perpetual products idea is around. The next one there, under-collateralized lending. Super cool kind of idea. And thinking about this mechanic with SUSDE that accrues rewards over time, potentially can figure out some kind of protocol that can offer under-collateralized lending there, or even like self-repaying loans, where over time the rewards from SUSDE are used to essentially pay off the loan, or essentially decrease the debt. That's kind of the main idea there. Obviously, Athena being like the tokens being a new kind of money primitive, it kind of lends itself to this idea of building a bank. So let's build a bank on chain, or some kind of neobank. Kind of related to that is these payment rails. Imagine having a card where you can spend your USDE that lives on chain. Super cool product idea. Thinking something similar to like Gnosis Safe and their card product there. Something like that might be pretty cool. Prediction markets is also quite a big theme, like this week, especially with all these elections. We saw like Polymarket get a lot of traction over the past couple of months, but it's a vanilla type of prediction market. Imagine having a prediction market based on some of these products from Athena, some of the tokens there that accrue value over time. Can be an interesting mechanic there in a prediction market, especially thinking about when the kind of voting situation changes over time. How does one's position change given some collateral that's been used to make a prediction, where the collateral itself accrues value over time? Interesting mechanisms in play there, quite complicated as well. So yeah, if you're not put off by that, I would say a prediction market type of product is a super super thing to shoot for. Short mention on GambleFi, kind of a taboo idea, but you know, especially with some of the tech that we have already on the testnet, such as those verifiable random function oracles, where you can bring randomness on chain. I can definitely see some interesting use cases there, like some dice game, for example, or imagine on-chain poker, or even a whole casino with like a variety of games. That's like a super awesome idea. All of that on-chain and leveraging some of the technology that we already have available there. Fixed rate money markets as well, quite interesting. Also looking at kind of this idea of interest rate swaps, kind of. SUSD is a product that, you know, accrues rewards over time, and I can imagine some type of product which basically gives you these rewards now while, you know, someone gives up their future rewards that they would have received in SUSD, essentially receiving their rewards now. So some kind of product that works in that kind of way, yeah, might be interesting. More generally, like securitization of USDE, we're thinking things like different vaults that do different interesting things. This one hasn't been like too in-depth ideated at the minute. So yeah, it's possible to come up with some interesting stuff there. We're thinking like Morpho vaults. You know, we already work with Morpho, and there are kind of Athena product-based vaults there, but kind of going down that sort of direction. Some sort of dollar-based restaking. Again, very similar idea to kind of the perp product that I mentioned around a vault for an insurance fund for some perp exchange. That will kind of also fall under this dollar-based restaking category. But there are some other interesting ideas that can be explored there. For example, some kind of liquidity bootstrapping mechanism where, you know, users can come and lock up or restake their already staked USDE in kind of in some vault for the chain that you know, other projects can come and apply for liquidity to help them bootstrap their new protocols. That might be an interesting idea. Also kind of related to the GambleFi, this kind of idea of a no-loss lottery. Again, building on the fact that SUSDE accrues rewards over time. What if you gave up those rewards to be able to participate in a lottery? So effectively, you have a chance to, you know, win that $1 million with a ticket that costs a few dollars, but you didn't even pay for that ticket because you know, that comes from rewards that are accruing over time on capital that you hold. So essentially, after you kind of stop participating in this lottery, you can withdraw your funds and you'll have the same amount of funds as when you put in to participate in the lottery in the first place. Pretty cool idea there. The structured products, again, based, kind of linked with some of the other ideas further up the list, but again, thinking about vaults, potentially combining the Athena tokens with other ecosystem tokens, not necessarily Athena related tokens, but providing some kind of structured product, either some kind of portfolio management or some kind of tranched vault situation going on there. And I think just a kind of an easier one, less so for, you know, those Web3 hardcore devs that would be like really happy to explore all these previous ideas. But if you're someone that's quite new to Web3, I feel that like looking at types of visualization dashboards, which are pretty kind of Web2 centric, but using the data from Web3 to be able to visualize certain aspects of the Athena network, whether that's something like using June Analytics or some other type of platform like that to create some dashboard for minting and redeeming of USDE, for example, so you can see how those things interplay. It could be a pretty good starting point for you. And by no means is this list like fully exhaustive. Like, we did put in quite a lot of effort to get some pretty good ideas down here. But if you have some idea that's not on this list, absolutely go and shoot for that. This list is not exhaustive, and we don't want people just to all pick the same product basically and submit the same thing at the end. We'd like a big variety, and if your imagination goes wild, then so be it. Would be happy to have a look at those type of projects as well. I think just one thing to mention, that we do have office hours over the next couple of weeks. So if you do have some idea, especially if it's not on this list and you'd like some validation for it, then do make sure to reach out and book some time there, and we can chat about it in person. I think this was a pretty long slide, but yeah, hopefully would have given you some good ideas on what to build. Definitely one thing to mention is that you're not alone in this hackathon. We're here with you. We're all in the Discord from Athena, and also from all our partners. We have someone in the Discord. So if you do need to reach out and ask some questions, definitely do that. We're monitoring the Discord server there, and I did mention already the office hours that we have over the next couple of weeks. Definitely make use of that. I would love to meet some of you guys in person over a call and discuss some of your ideas there. And we mostly don't bite, so do reach out, and we'll be happy to help you guys. I think that's it pretty much from me in terms of the content I have to share with you guys today. I just want to do some shout outs before we wrap this up, and go into the questions section. So shout out to all our partners who helped us launch the Ble Testnet in less than a month. It's been a crazy month, and some great results there. Of course, shout out to the sponsors. We do have over 40K in prizes, so make sure to check out the bounties. It might give you also some other ideas on what to build. Definitely shout out to the Encode team and Yasin here for helping organize this hackathon, this workshop. And shout out to all you guys, all the hackers who've taken the time to come and participate. Some Twitter handles there for you guys to follow as well. And thank you again for having me present this workshop for you guys.
Thank you so much. There's actually a couple of questions as well. So back in the question section, there was in the questionnaire, there was a question from Carla who's asking, can't you use SUSDE as gas fee?
Can you use SUSDE as a gas fee? It's from Carla. Yeah, he's been asking good questions in these workshops. You could use SUSDE as a gas fee. Actually, Zero Dev doesn't restrict on what you can do there. If you go and check out their workshop, first of all, shout out to them. And if you go and sign up for Zero Dev and set up a test project yourself, you can actually pick any ERC20 token to be your gas token of choice. So you can even deploy your own token and say that's going to be the token there. I would just mention that this feature is still being built out. So as much as we do have a very initial idea of how it's going to work, and there is live transactions on the Ble Testnet of accounts that are paying their transaction fees in USDE. It's still in very early stages, and yeah, there are a couple of features there that don't exist, such as live price feeds. So you won't have very accurate gas pricing mechanics. You may get overcharged for this stuff. It just looks like that for now, but we are working with the Zero Dev team to figure that out longer term. Yeah.
Perfect. There's sorry, a bit of a cheeky one from Yagndeep saying, what is if you can provide some DeFi alpha, and like what are the things that Athena actually need right now? Maybe something that people can engage with and build for doing a hackathon.
Yeah, I think very good question. Yeah, I would say have a look through these slides again after this presentation. All the answers you have are pretty much in there. I would specifically look at the Ble Testnet future slide. That's kind of the things that we are looking into and we need moving forward. And then, of course, the what should I build slide has a full list and pretty comprehensive there. This is kind of, we sat down for a few hours and locked ourselves up to come up with this list.